Happy Friday, newsies. It is I, Becca Lori Hector, here with your next installment of Neurodiversity Newsstand. Welcome back to the channel. I hope that you're excited to be here. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited that I'm on time this Friday and that I'm not so tired that I can't do it this week. Freshly showered and ready to tell you about the news that we've got going on, of course. If you're new to the channel, this is where I do the weekly Neurodiversity news summary that comes out of our Neurodiversity Newsstand groups that I host on Facebook, one on Facebook and one on LinkedIn. So I do this every Friday, and every Tuesday I go live just to kind of talk about what's going on in my life. So I hope that if you like what I'm doing, you'll take a moment and subscribe. And if you like this video, you'll take the time to just give me a thumbs up. All right, what's going on in my life? Let's see. We've had a streak of amazeballs weather here for the last few days. I have been putting off things and changing times of when I'm doing them so that I can spend more time sitting outside. It's been epically beautiful, and my body and brain desperately need the vitamin D. And so I'm excited to have some really good sunshine in my life. I'm feeling a lot better because of it. And I'm feeling more productive. I don't know if you've noticed, but I've been putting out some content and working on some things, because as we're all stuck in this quarantine and as all this is going on, two things I've been thinking about is that, one, everybody's sitting at home, and so why not create content? I have a captured audience and all of that jazz, but also there's not as much demands on my time, so I can be creating and doing things. And like, lastly, I don't know what's going to happen to our world and if it will ever go back to normal or the other way we were living. And I kind of hope that it doesn't. There's a bunch of reasons that I think it shouldn't go back, mostly because we were focused on the wrong things as a globe, I think, and as human beings. And so it's been a really good experience for people to have to pause in their regular habits and think about what it is they're doing every day. And I hope people are kind of taking the time to really, choose the right things with their time. I hope you're not just beating yourself up about whatever financial stuff we're into, because we're all in trouble, but you're finding little joys in the things you didn't have time to do before. I hope that's the case. You may notice I am wearing a super cool t-shirt right now, right? You can't see the bottom, so let me see. Can I I'll back up maybe, or stand up? Maybe I'll stand up. Okay, there you go. Oh, standing up, whole shirt. There you go. You are the noise I am canceling. This epic t-shirt is available to you as well. Can you believe that? Yes, you too can get one of these t-shirts. It is the merch from Neuroclastic. So if you want to support Neuroclastic, you can go ahead and get one of these t-shirts. I'm going to give you the link in the description. I'm going to talk about the t-shirt one more time. And I'm going to do, I don't know what, we're going to talk about a lot of things. We did not have stuff going on in our community this week. We have some stuff coming out, and I'm glad to see it. It's not quite the April we're used to, but there's some good quality content coming out. So I can't wait to share that news with you. So I'm going to get right into it, I think, this week. Yeah, I am in the old notebook. What I decided to do was go backwards through it, so it's upside down and turned around, so I can use the back sides of the pages that I was using before. I'm going to get through this notebook using every piece of paper I can and not wasting nothing. And so I am starting at the beginning of the end of this notebook. Okay, this week's news, I'm going to start out once again with COVID news, if we have any, not only just to make sure that we're all in the loop about what's going on, but also to just kind of be kind of up to date with what is being discussed about our community in particular, having to do with what's going on with COVID. And then I'm going to quickly move on so that we can talk about other things, because I hope that Neurodiversity Newsstand, the group, and also Neurodiversity Newsstand, the vlog, is a place that you find comfort in, is that you come here for your regular stuff. I want you to get the news that you're looking for, because I'm sure your life is preoccupied, but also I want to make sure that you have some regularity and routine in your life. So I hope that I get to be part of that regular routine that you have. Okay, anyway, COVID, starting with COVID. New York Times this week. It hit our front door is the title of the article. That homes for the disabled are seeing a surge of COVID-19. And not surprising, we're also seeing it in the elderly homes and any kind of places where we have groups of people living together. And of course, it's upended and magnified when those groups of people are in the kind of danger zone with this disease, right? So we're talking about older people, disabled people. And so this article was about what's happening in the homes and how it's spreading and how it's kind of took a while to get there, but now it's spreading like wildfire. And so, of course, there is concern for how to handle it in places like that. So that is article number 1. Article number 2 for COVID list comes out of Bitch Media, actually. This article is so interesting to me, and this topic is so interesting to me that I'm actually going to be writing a piece about it for a special edition of Autism Spectrum News that's going to be coming out. And I'm going to be talking about it. So this article was called Work with Benefits. COVID illustrates the pros of remote work. Now, I'm somebody who loves remote work. I am so grateful that technology has allowed me to be able to do remote work. I don't know that I'd be able to really have a career or really hang on to a job for very long if I was still having to do that 9 to 5, 40 hours a week thing. And so it really, really works for me. But the situation we're sitting in is that many of us have asked for accommodations in the past. We have sort of asked for flex schedules, or we've asked for remote work or remote days, and many of us have been told no, that it's not possible, the company can't handle it, whatever the case may be, and many of us have been told no. And now it seems that it's actually quite a viable thing to have remote workers. And I think what we're all hoping for is that not only will this show corporate America that remote work is possible, but it will also show corporate America that it works well and that we're really productive in that way, and it actually can save money, like on rent for an office space, etc. But the thing that we're all concerned about, of course, is will it stay around? Will it be fully accepted by the time this thing is passed, or will everybody revert to old habits? I'm sure hoping it'll stick around. I think it's really the salvation for a lot of disabled people, but autistics in particular. Most of the stuff that we want to do and can do is often made more difficult by some of the kind of constraints of a regular job. So interesting article, really interested in it myself. As you can tell, I will be writing my own piece about it coming out in the next month or so. Anyway, continuing on, our last COVID piece for this week comes to you from France, from Metro News UK, and it says, France eases lockdown for autistic people so they can go to reassuring places. I've seen two responses to this article. One was to say, oh, that's so wonderful that they're taking care of autistic people and making that accommodation for them, and that they hope it sticks around afterwards, of course. And then others are saying, yes, but we're humans, and really it's safest if we don't go to some of these spaces, and that our lives should be valued enough that we aren't told to go to unsafe spaces. And so those are the two reactions to that piece that I've heard. I'd be interested to hear your take on it as you read it, because I will put it in the description, as I do with all the articles I share. Okay, moving right along, shall we? Okay, not COVID related news. There was a great article that came out this week in Vice. It was called "A Disgraced Ex-Doctor Says He's Behind the Use of Ketamine to Cure a Child with Autism." That is Dr. Robbie Mitchell. He also goes by Dr. Fit, and he is now admitting he's behind it. And we know that was controversial. I can't sit still or say words right now. We know that was controversial for quite some time, as ketamine was also being experimented with in terms of depression for adults, right? And for its other uses in that case. And this doctor took it a little too far. we were honored, actually, I'm honored, actually, that one of our fellow newsies, Alicia Halliday, who also happens to be the Chief Science Officer at Autism Science Foundation, is quoted in this article talking about the dangers of ketamine for children. Not even just autistic children, like children. It's a psychoactive drug, and so she talks about that. She's quoted in this article talking about this doctor and his touting of a cure. So you can take a look at that piece right here in the description. Continuing on. More in research news. In autism in adulthood, we had a research piece released from Dora Raymaker, who is part of Aspire in Seattle. It's a research group where they're focusing on really community-based research, and her research actually was published in Autism in Adulthood. She didn't do it alone, of course, nobody works alone, but it's all about autistic burnout and defining autistic burnout. So a lot of autistic adults who have experienced burnout were asked to describe and articulate what it feels like, what the precursors are, that kind of thing, and she's put it all together in this research that I think you guys should take a look at. And not only that, I think you should share it with the world so that we could have more understanding of autistic burnout. And maybe more of us can be prepared so that we don't let it happen to ourselves. Really good research by Dora Raymaker. I highly, highly recommend you check that one out. Next up, in elite sciences, elite, that is not what I wrote. I wrote elifesciences.org. We have a really interesting piece on interoception. Kelly Mahler shared it. I shared it from her. I think it's a really interesting piece, and it talks about diminished response to bodily threats and blunted interoception is in suicide attempts. So really looking at when you can't communicate very well between your brain and your body, and if those interoception interruptions are a commonality for people that make suicide attempts. Really interesting to look at, especially as so many of us on the spectrum struggle with interoception. So another good piece for you to take a look at. Next up, from Neuroclastic. I really like this one. I'm sharing it, of course. Talking about communicating with autism, I think. I missed when autistic. That was the end of it. Sorry, I give myself little shorthand notes. Most of the time I remember what I meant, but that time I did not. Okay, so talking about communicating when autistic. Really great TEDx talk by Daniel Maskett. Take a look at the TEDx talk. The video is in the bottom. There's a little article above talking about it. And I thought it was a really interesting take on autistic communication. So have a look at that one. I will, of course, put it in the description. Next up, really excited about this one. So I'm sharing it with excitement in advance. The Autistic OT has put together a fantastic little PowerPoint vlog. So it's got the visuals and her talking about the stuff at the same time. And she is talking about why is everything harder right now? Because it is harder right now. And I think we're all feeling it. And so what she's talking about in her little PowerPoint vlog thing is managing expectations and demands during a pandemic. And of course, we should be kind of qualifying and quantifying our expectations because they're going to be different than the norm, and we can't be expecting the norm from ourselves right now. Great video. She really explains it. I heard little rumors that she might be doing a whole video series, which I really hope she does because this one was excellent. So I hope you hear the love coming at you. I hope you feel it, and I hope you guys will check out her little PowerPoint vlog on the topic. I found it very helpful. So I hope you'll check it out. And then that's really about it for like news and stuff coming out. I like that I shared some free resources with you guys last week, so I've got a few more for you. Some free courses that are available online for you right now, so you can take this time to educate yourself or just, I guess, dip yourself into your special interest if it's what you've got. But definitely here are some free resources. First, in America, coming out of the University of Washington Autism Center, there is a free Zoom course, Could I Be Autistic? So if you're somebody who's questioning your autism, or you know somebody who is, well, here's a free course they can sit through, and maybe it'll help them to make that decision for themselves, and maybe they'll pursue a diagnosis or pursue a self-diagnosis, but at least maybe it'll answer some questions, and it's free. Yay. So that is happening, I believe, in the evening on 4/23. I will give you the link to register for it. It is, of course, free for you guys to attend. Next up, out of the UK, King's College London is doing a free course that you can join at any time. It's an online course, so you begin it when you register and you can go at your own pace kind of class. It begins whenever you want to begin it. It is available right now for free. Understanding ADHD. Current research and practice is what they're talking about. So if you're an ADHD person, you have it, you know someone who does, or if you're a professional that needs to brush up on some new stuff on ADHD, it is a free course from King's College London, and I will, of course, give you a link to register for that. Yay! And the T-shirt. I have reached T-shirt moment. Here we are at the 15-minute mark. I'm saying that in my head so that I can remember to tell the people at Neuroclastic that this is when I talked about it. But it's the shirt. I'm going to stand up one more time. Check out the shirt as I stand up one more time. Okay, I got it in green because green is my favorite color. I love green so much. You can get it in your favorite color, or you can get it in white or black, but you can get it in the color of your choice. It's, depending on the style of T-shirt that you get, that's the price. So plain old ordinary T-shirt I saw was $17. I think this one was a little bit more for a fitted shirt. Don't really remember, but your money will be going to help Neuroclastic continue to build the resource that they are building. Plus, it's a cool shirt and it's funny and I love it. And I would have a million of them. These are the kind of shirts that I really love. I love shirts that are clever about autism, but also support the cause very much. So if you would like to support Neuroclastic and you like the work that they're doing as well, you can, I will give you the link to Redbubble where you can order a Neuroclastic T-shirt for yourself and help support the authors of Neuroclastic. So that's a little commercial for that. Really, really love my shirt though. No joking. Really love it. Okay. Last up is all of my hootenanny and stuff that I'm doing, which I saved for the end because if you don't really care about what it is that I'm doing, then the news is over and you can move on. But if you would like to know what I'm doing and you do want to participate with the stuff that I'm working on, here's what I've got for you. Okay. First of all, the autism spectrum women. So I do Asking Spectrum Women every week. No, I don't. I do Asking Spectrum Women every month. I do it once a month for Spectrum Women magazine. I take over their YouTube channel and I do Asking Spectrum Women, which is essentially a monthly Q&A. I have questions sent into me from folks out there in the interweb, and I attempt to answer them once a month for Spectrum Women magazine. So the April installment is out. I was a little late with it this month as I was really tired from World Autism Day rather, and so I was late in coming out with that too. I apologize for that, you guys, but the April installment is now out, so you can take a look at that. I have also written a piece for the spring 2020 issue of Autism Spectrum News. I've written a little bit about kind of how to foster self-confidence in women, how to kind of foster self-identity in women on the spectrum, females on the spectrum. And it's called Different is My Identifier. And so I hope you'll take a look at that article. It was I started out as kind of like, okay, I can write this, and then I got really involved in it. So I hope you'll take a look at it because I really had to think through what I thought would be the change makers for us on the spectrum. So please read that for me. And then, of course, last up, it is officially 4/10 today. You are officially 8 days away. You have 8 days to register for my webinar. It is going to be on April 18th at 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Right now, it is a measly $35 to register. It is an hour presentation with a half-hour Q&A, AMA type thing afterwards with me. And it is the keynote that I would be giving if you were coming to the conference that I was supposed to be speaking at. This is the keynote that you would have seen if you can't ever make it to my conferences, because I don't really travel very far. You haven't traveled outside of the United States yet to speak on autism. Nobody's really come to me with a good enough offer to get me on that kind of plane. So if you're in the UK or you're in Australia or you're in Canada and you would love to hear what it is that I speak about when I speak to an audience, this is it. So please take the time to register for my webinar, because on the 14th, the price goes up to $45. So before it does, please take the time to register at tinyurl.com/self-defined. I will, of course, give you the link to register for that in here. If you have any questions about anything that I'm doing or anything that I talked about, or if I missed something that you think should have been in here today, or if you'd like something shared on Neurodiversity Newsstand, you can always email me at info@beccalaurie.com, or you can go directly to the website and use my contact page. Of course, if you want to, feel free to comment below this video wherever you are seeing it, and I guarantee you that I will see that comment and I will answer you eventually. So please take the time to comment, tell me what you're doing, tell me what you're up to, tell me whether you like this video or not, tell me whether I stink, tell me whether or not you're getting a shirt too, because I love it that much. And I don't know, just be in touch with me. I love hearing from you. I hope you have an amazing rest of your weekend with whatever it is you decide to do. I hope you find some joy. Go looking for joy this weekend. That's what I'm going to do. Go looking for joy. I'll see you guys on Tuesday if you join me at the live stream, Becca's Backyard Live, at 2:20 p.m. on Tuesdays, 2:20 Mountain Standard Time. I will see you right here on this channel with my live stream. Otherwise, I'll see you next Friday with the next installment of Neurodiversity Newsstand. That is it for me, Becca Laurie Hector. I will see you soon. Bye.